In this video, I'm going to show you the best way to sell life insurance in 2025, and it's called the niche method. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down 1, what is the niche method, 2, how you can install it into your business, and 3, how you can make 6 figures selling life insurance to rich people. Now, first and foremost, why would you even want to sell life insurance to rich people? Well, the reason why is because the quality of your business is simply based on the quality of your customer, right? Obviously, there's other factors at play too, but one of the biggest levers you can pull in terms of making more profit in your business is just serving a higher quality of clientele, right? So oftentimes in the insurance industry, a lot of people will go after, final expense clients, for example. Now, while final expense is a great way to get into the business, what we often see is like if you stay there for a long period of time, the people you're selling to with final expense, they're usually very low income, they're usually older, less tech savvy, you're gonna have higher chargebacks, all these different things. So if we wanna improve the quality of our business, lower chargebacks, higher premiums, more tech savvy clients that are a little bit easier to reach on the phone, we could simply just serve better people, right? And when I say better people, I don't mean like the value of them as a human being. I mean the like tech savviness, income level, all those different things, right? So for example, if I'm gonna start a gym, I would rather sell gym memberships to rich people than sell gym memberships to poor people, right? Simple. So the quality of your business is oftentimes based on the quality of your customer. Another thing you guys are gonna need to know before we dive in is, this is a quote by Alex Hormozi, and it is, "The riches are in the niches." So if you wanna target people and generate sales and sell life insurance, instead of trying to go and after like literally everybody and just be super broad, if we narrow down our messaging and we target a specific person, a specific niche, that's where the riches are, i.e. the riches are in the niches. And if you guys have seen Alex Hormozi on social media, that's kind of like how we developed this idea, is from watching a lot of his content. We actually got lucky enough to meet him in person a couple months ago. This is me on the left, William, my business partner, on the right. And yeah, he was a big inspiration for the niche method. So I just wanted to shout Hormozi out for that. So what is the niche method and how can you actually use it? How does it relate to life insurance? So basically what we've realized is that targeting specific niches, like selling life insurance to parents, truckers, nurses, business owners, teachers, cops, first responders, these are all great examples of niches that you can go after. And basically what you do is you'll run an ad on Facebook that specifically targets these people, which, when you call out somebody based off of their career or like a specific demographic they're in, they're gonna respond at a higher rate. So you get better responses on leads. And then not only that, but if we can speak to their specific pain points, we're gonna get higher quality leads. And the other really cool thing too, right here, is you can do something called setting a floor on your customers, right? So like, what on earth does that mean? Well, I'm gonna show you guys with a graph in just a second, but basically what setting a floor means is we're setting a bottom threshold for what a lead would be. And the way that we do this is simply just like how we call the people out. So if I'm targeting nurses, for example, I know that if somebody is gonna respond to an ad that calls out nurses in specific, right? They're gonna have an income because nurses get paid to be nurses, duh. Same thing with truckers, same thing with, not necessarily business owners, there's a lot of broke business owners, but you guys kind of get the picture. Same thing with teachers, cops, first responders, all that kind of stuff. So we know that they're not unemployed, they have an income. We also kind of have an idea of where their income is, meaning that it's gonna be easier for us to help them out with life insurance and insurance in general. So we market to people that have an income and we also know have a need for life insurance. And we can do that by, if we target a niche that we know has money and has a need, all of our leads are gonna fall into those 2 categories where they have money and they have a need, right? So let me show you guys kind of the graph of setting a floor. So for example, let's say we realize a good client for us is making at least like 50 grand a year, right? In order for them to make their premium payments, maybe we're wanting to sell people IULs or whatever. If we know, hey, we want a minimum of 50K a year in income, which means they're gonna, again, make their premium payments and everything else, we can just target people and call them out with our ad and go after a specific niche of people that are making over that amount of income. We're gonna have a better business, we're gonna have higher quality leads, we're gonna have higher retention rate and everything else. So for example, setting a floor, right? I kind of drew it out. If we're targeting nurses, the nurses are not going to be making less than $50K a year, because like $50K a year is a starting salary for a nurse. Most truckers are not going to be making less than $50K a year. A married mom, right? Generally, if it's a mom and a husband, like the combined household income is going to be more than $50K a year in like almost every case. If it's below, then they're basically like living on the poverty line, especially with inflation. And the other cool thing too, like, you know, if there's a married mom and let's say the mom doesn't work, that means that the husband's obviously making income, which means, boom, there's a need for a life insurance policy on the husband and a life insurance policy on the wife. So like by targeting specific groups that we know have money and know have a demand, we're going to get higher quality leads overall and be able to sell like higher premium policies as well. So let me show you guys a couple examples of people that have used this in the past. This is a guy named Trevor. And basically, Trevor came to us and he wanted to target truckers, right? So we basically set up a whole ad for Trevor targeting truckers. And he wrote in one single week. The really cool thing about this is like a lot of these people, they would just literally pre-book appointments on your calendar, because when you speak specifically to them, right? Like think about how specific our videos are on YouTube. Like you clicked on this video because you're a life insurance agent and you want a better way to sell insurance, right? Meaning of all of the videos on YouTube, this one, you could tell it was speaking specifically to you because it said best way to sell life insurance in 2025, new method, right? Same kind of thing with like targeting truckers. Hey, this life insurance is specifically for truckers. So when they see that ad, they're like, oh my God, I need to hear more about this. They go through the whole like way that you set up the funnel and then they book an appointment. You can get a ton of pre-booked appointments and people that like really show up to these at a high percentage. So Trevor wrote nearly $5,000 in just one single week, only working the pre-booked appointments. All right, and I paused the video just so I could show you guys this. As you can see right here, let me see if this will focus. There we go. So it's $4,897 in AP and he only spent $270 on leads, right? So that's just one example of somebody using this. And his average cost per lead was like $7. So just blew it out of the water, totally murdered it, right? Another example, Eris and Eddie. So Eris and Eddie, they target two niches. They go after parents and they go after truckers. And before using the niche method, they were selling about $4K a month. And after implementing this and using this in their business, they 10x'd their production to $40K a month, right? Their CPL, cost per lead, is about $9 on average. And the retention rate is like sky high. I don't have the exact numbers, but it's a very high retention rate for industry standards. And they mostly work off of appointment, right? And a lot of this comes down to the fact that they're going after these specific niches that they know have an income and they know have a need and a demand for life insurance, right? Like parents and truckers. And so when you do that, again, the quality of your business is oftentimes based on the quality of your customer. So if you target a niche, a high income niche, you're gonna have a much better life insurance business. And that's what I want to get across to you guys in this video. Another example, these guys have an agency at Symmetry, Grace and Shane Webb. And we basically helped them set up a whole campaign targeting cops and first responders, right? Which you may be thinking like, oh, you know, that's not like the highest income niche by any means, but they definitely have income, right? 50K plus. And basically, last that I saw, their cost per lead was like $3 to $5 on average. And they're using these leads to feed their entire agency. So they're providing leads that they're generating with the niche method to an entire agency at Symmetry. The retention rate, again, sky high, and they mostly work off of appointment. So it's not like they're making, you know, thousands of dials a week. They're mostly working just off of appointments. As you can see right here, guys, like they're literally at the top of the leaderboard at Symmetry Financial. This is 10K AP in a week using this method that I'm talking about. So like this stuff obviously works. Here's a screenshot of pre-booked appointments that have come from this exact niche method. Same thing here. So let me show you guys like an example, right? Because I've kind of talked about like why the niche method works, what it is. Let me show you guys an example of kind of like how this actually looks in practice. So this right here is a video ad that we created. This one's targeting out, calling out nurses specifically, right? So I'm gonna play this video for you guys real quick and I'll kind of explain it in just a second.
If you're a nurse with kids under 20, this is the most important video you will ever watch. You see, I've been a nurse for 22 years, and here's the thing. Most nurses get life and health insurance through their hospital, but there's something that you probably don't know that could cost you and your family tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. They don't tell you this, but your life insurance only covers you while you're working. Meaning, if you get in a car wreck like one of my friends did and can no longer work, you lose your policy, gone. Or if you decide that with all the craziness going on, you want to pursue a different career, your policy, gone. Even if you stay at the hospital until you retire, once you're relieved, you lose your life insurance and have to get another policy at a ridiculous rate because you're older. So here's what myself and thousands of other nurses and healthcare providers have done to protect themselves and their families. There's a new program allowing healthcare workers to get up to $1 million in coverage for their families for less than the price of a coffee per day. That way, if you get chronically ill and disabled in an accident and can't work, you still have coverage in place for your family. All you need to do to see if you qualify is click Learn More down below. You'll fill out a 20-second survey. Someone from our team will reach out to you to help you find the best plan for your family.
Right, so a couple things from that video, right? First and foremost, the ad directly calls out nurses. So we say nurses and healthcare workers who have kids under 20, right? So we know that A, they have a need for life insurance because they have kids under 20. If they die, like the kids are out of luck. And two, they have an income because they're nurses or healthcare workers, right? The other thing too, we're basically like already setting the expectation that the policy is going to cost over $100 a month. Because like newsflash guys, if you've bought a coffee in the last 15 years, a coffee's like $3 to $5. And we said less than the price of a coffee per day. Meaning if you do 5 times 30, that's $150. So people clicking on this ad are already expecting to spend over $100 a month on a policy, which is amazing. The message is super relatable, as you can see, right? She's wearing scrubs, she's got the stethoscope on. Like, this is very, very targeted towards that niche that is nurses and healthcare workers. So let me kind of show you guys, on the ad side, what works really well again is like those things I just kind of went over. Let me go back. So yeah, like tapping into the existing demand. So what I mean when I say that is we're already talking about things that these nurses are already thinking about. So they have a policy through work. Maybe they think that that's going to be enough, but in reality, it's not, right? Another version of this ad, we say like, nurses, you see death and sickness every day. You know that anything could happen to you at any time. But what if something happens to you? Do you have a plan in place to protect your family? So they're already like seeing death and sickness every day. It's just about channeling that demand towards them getting a policy. So that's kind of why this works. So what we do is we run ads like that to a lead form. They put in their info. We ask them if they already have life insurance or if, like, why they're looking for more. We get their beneficiary name, all these things. And then from there, you're going to want to send them to a calendar so that you can get the pre-booked appointments. So you send them to a calendar, they go through, they fill out, book a time, and we have automations that will text them to confirm the appointment. So we'll shoot them a text, hey, just confirming, I saw you booked the appointment, please reply yes to confirm that you're going to show up, right? Otherwise, we'll give your slot to somebody else. And basically, through that process, from the ad to the form where we get some extra information, we get them to book an appointment, and then we have automations where even if they don't book that initial appointment, we're going to be texting them, emailing them, and then also calling these people over a period of time to get them to book. And then once they book, you show up, you go through the presentation. And the really cool thing about this particular method, right, is like whenever you're selling mortgage protection, for example, or you're selling final expense, like you're selling a specific product to anybody. With this, you're selling a specific person, and then you as the agent determine what product to sell them, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, with the niche method, it's not like I'm saying, hey, I'm going to get you a final expense policy, or hey, I'm going to sell you an IUL. Like, we're advertising life insurance overall, which means you have so much more freedom as the agent. When you get that lead, it's specific on the person, which means you get a quality lead cost. It's specific on the person, but then you can determine what's the best fit for that client. So if they need term, you can sell them a term. If they need a mortgage protection policy, you can sell them a mortgage protection policy. If they need whole life, you can sell them whole life. If they need an IUL, you sell them IUL. If they need an annuity, you can literally get annuities off of the niche method because it's just about the messaging and who you're going after and getting that group of people. You can sell cancer plans, dental vision, health, long-term care, like whatever products you have access to, you can cross-sell, upsell all these different things to these people because they're just people that have an income and have a need for insurance. And then you just have to fill that demand. The other thing that's really cool too about this method is like, let's say I'm targeting nurses, for example, or truckers or parents. Like if you build an agency, you could also just you could recruit your clients. Because if you're selling final expense, you're probably not going to recruit your final expense clients to come sell with you. But if you're marketing to like younger, healthier people that are, actively still working, like if they are a sharp person, you could recruit them to come sell insurance and kind of build your team through that way. Like imagine for example, if you built an agency of selling to nurses and then you recruited nurses to come sell to those nurses. So you just have a bunch of nurses selling insurance to nurses. Crazy stuff. And you can't do this with like any other form of selling life insurance. Cool. So what happens afterwards? How do you actually scale with this? Well, there's a couple things, and this is something that is a lot tougher to do with different ways of selling life insurance. But with the niche method specifically, the show rates are higher, the answer rates are higher, all that stuff's higher. So what you can do is you can hire an appointment setter to call your leads, set appointments, and you can get to a point where most of your day is just working appointments and follow-up. You're just working appointments and follow-up. So imagine like not having to make a bunch of calls. You are mostly calling preset appointments and following up with promising leads. And that's something that I've seen work really, really well with this particular method, which is why I ultimately believe it is the best way to sell life insurance in 2025. So action steps for you guys. Pick a niche, market to that niche on Facebook, set up the funnel that I described where you have an ad going to a form and then going to a calendar and then have automations that text them and just scale that up. And that's pretty much it. So if you guys want help doing this, if you want our team to jump in the weeds and kind of like set this all up for you, do all the marketing, all of the ads, you guys can actually license the ads that we create. So the ad that I showed you guys earlier with the nurse, like that's an ad that we run for our clients, right? If you guys want us to help you with that, click the link down below. There's going to be a video that explains more about how our offer works. And if you're a good fit, then we'll jump in the weeds and help you. Or if you I'm also going to have a video. It's going to pop up right here, which is a step-by-step guide of how to set up Facebook ads with the niche method so that you can run your own ads and do this. And if you decide that you want our team to help you and just let us do everything for you, you can also do that. Or if you want to watch the video, you can click right here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.